Alright, so this stuff, all of this stuff here, would be so good to just friggin'. Oh my god! Oh! Ooh.
Cal? Cal, you okay? Oh my god. January 11th, 2025. Heading out to my hut. Heading out solo right now, and well, I don't know, sometime in the next hour or so. Got Calvin that's gonna come and meet me. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning now. Last weekend I actually injured my back, so all week I've been just kind of resting, taking it easy, but I am gonna be cheating this time around. I brought along a DeWalt battery powered saw, so just to, you know, not overdo it. And I'm looking forward to it. We don't have any kind of big meal plan, just a couple cans of soup. It's basically just going to be a day out there. All week it's just been miserable. So if I was to injure my back, this week would have been the best. It was super windy, really cold, just miserable. So today I think it's only going to be a high of -4, maybe -6. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Snowing a bit this morning. It still kind of is. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. But looking forward to it. It's nice to get back out into the bush. 7 days not being in the bush is 7 days too long. My back hurts. Let's make sure I bring up the 7-pound friggin' bag. Nice to be comfortable though. It's nice sheepskin. It's just a knockout kind of cheap sheepskin. Nice to see. I think we're going to be aiming for a nice hardwood today. He wants to go. There she goes. My cheat code feels sinful, but for the back's sake. Yeah, that would have been hard going with the handsaw. Just look at that. It's just no rot at all. Nice and dry. So that's one of the other ways you can tell if it's nice dry wood from the sound of it. It's kind of an echo. There's no like thud. Another way you can tell too is using your lips, way more sensitive than your fingers. And you can just kind of tell if it's like damp, you know. I do have some green logs, I think. You can kind of hear the sound difference. Those sound kind of good. Alright. Don't have any green logs. Or I had the idea of bringing out my bigger axe for bigger logs to split. I used to just get smaller stuff kind of like this, and this is a little reliable. Still use this axe all the time, especially for the smaller stuff. But here's how I'll kind of do it. I'm lucky enough I have an exposed root from a nearby tree, so I use that. But if you didn't have that, you just use a log, right? And then what you're kind of looking for is like that crack that's already started, and I'll hang it out right here. I'll kind of get my blade and line it up so I'm not hitting, and I'll just kind of hold it nice and tight. So now it's stuck, right? And you got a good handle here. Man, there you go. And so it didn't come apart, right? It's freaking ash and it's super strong with those fibers. So I'll just flip it around, put it same crack, right? And there she goes. And now you got your split piece of wood. Get in there, you. Okay, so one of the tips that I did find really helped. You get out to your shelter, you're working hard, getting all your stuff, and you realize you're covered in sweat. Now you're kind of limited to how long you can stay out here. You can dry it out by the fire. What I do, I bring out a spare shirt. It's light. Like, I don't know why that would be something that didn't come to my mind earlier. But anyways, what I'll do, so I'll strip down, take my hat off. This is soaked. Put that aside. I'll take off my current shirt. And it's not like soaking wet, but it's just enough that it's uncomfortably damp. And then I'll use it. I'll kind of make sure it's all nice and dry. You know, blah, blah, blah. Nice, just get your new one. Nice and easy. And I always make sure I got the fire going first before I start doing this. Throw that on. Huge difference. It just feels comfy. I got my spare hat. Throw that on. It's nice and fluffy. And now I'm ready to spend hours. Copious amounts of hours here. So that's a nice little tip I always do when I go out to the bush. I'll never go out without a spare shirt. Wool too. Has to be a nice insulated wool. So.
Here's my guy.
Hey, Cal. Not much, man. You got the fire all ready for us. Nice. Hell yeah. There he is.
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Yeah, welcome. Heck yeah. What a day to be out too, eh?
Oh, beauty.
Just fantastic. Go check her out.
Yeah. Alright guys, so I just wanted to do a rough breakdown on what I always bring in to the bush with me whenever I come out. First thing, orange flag tape. This stuff, if you're in unfamiliar territory, you can mark your way back, your way in, so you can find your way out. Secondly, if I have a tool such as my axe, hatchet, knife, anything, any tool, your bag, your clothing, anything, you can wrap this around. If you drop it on the brush ground and you can't find it, well, orange is going to stand out pretty good. So I always bring flagging tape. It's cheap, and it surprisingly acts very well with a lot of things. Secondly, food. I always bring some sort of soup with me into the bush. That in any scenario will help you out. You got to bring something as a backup. So we got food. Next, we have first aid kit. Very small, but I got Q-tips, wrap, gauze, cotton pads, band-aids, this kind of stuff. You get a wound, you can pack it, cut yourself. You don't want to get an infection in the bush. You hurt yourself, you're bleeding, you want to pack that, you want to clean it as quickly as possible. It's winter time. Normally I do have polysporin or something as well in my kit. Unfortunately, we're minus temperatures, so it's going to freeze. I won't carry it in the freezing cold weather. But always carry some sort of first aid kit. And if you're out with somebody, I'm out with my buddy Josh. If I'm out with him, I got to make sure that he knows where this is. So I will tell him exactly where in my bag this kit is. If I'm injured, he's injured, we need to get to the medical equipment, this is what he knows. Next, thermal space blanket. Emergency blanket. I like the SOL. We used it once in one of our previous videos. It was minus 27 out, and we had the fire going. It was warm, but we got a little bit of a chill. This here, they do tear pretty easily, but if you crunch the corners of the blankets, you can use your paracord, which I do bring out. You can use your paracord and this blanket, and you can make a lean-to type style that will keep the heat from the fire reflecting back at you. That worked incredible. It worked crazy well. We ended up going from fully dressed in parkas, snow pants and everything. We were in there with sweaters and we were fine. Very comfortable in minus 27 degrees Celsius. Not Fahrenheit, Celsius. I do the math on that, but I don't know how to convert that stuff. We're Celsius. So, paracord and an emergency blanket I always bring into the bush. Next up, tinfoil. I always have a massive thing of tinfoil that I crunch up just in case I need it for cooking, in case I need it for holding water, food, anything.
Next thing I drip on the dart.
Literally, it will it'll improvise with the tinfoil. It can come in so many different uses that it's unbelievable. If you have to signal someone and you're stranded, tinfoil shiny, you could signal using the sun. Acts as a signal mirror as well. Always have tinfoil on you. Next, ferro rods and fire starters. This stuff here
In a bag, dude.
in a bag. I know it works with snow. I can still get a spark off it, and I will show you guys that right now. I will still get a spark even with its snow on it. You can get this stuff wet. It's unbelievable. Get it wet, okay, and essentially just wipe the snow just off the top. Now there's moisture there. It is wet, but you will still get a spark no matter what. Always carry one of these when you're in the bush. Always. You can submerge it in water, give it a quick wipe off, give a couple strikes, it's going to start sparking. That is a main thing right there. You need fire, especially if it's cold, you're wet, you're sweated, you need to dry yourself off and keep warm. Always have fire starters.
The thing to mention too is even if you have that, pack some big lighters.
Exactly. Bic lighters too.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
A couple of bucks.
Literally. Buy a 5-pack from Walmart or something, or your nearest store. You probably get them for $5. Moving on, we have a Ziploc bag. I know this. I know. Big Ziploc bag. Why? Why do I bring this? Well, A, you can keep anything you need to dry. Your tinder. You can collect tinder and put your tinder in the Ziploc bag to bring back. You can use it for water, holding water, boiling water. You can use it to collect snow. You can literally wrap your bag up at the top with all your snow or your water, make a tripod over your fire, and now you can boil that water in the bag. The plastic won't melt. Do it in a survival situation only because obviously the plastic
will pop and put out your fire.
yeah, like it could pop as long as the temperature is kept with the boiling. You should be safe, but it's going to release a little bit of toxins from the bag into your water, so only do that if you really have to. But Ziploc bag will come in handy 9 times out of 10. Can't go wrong with a Ziploc bag. And if I lost my pack, everything I have here will fit in this Ziploc bag. That's essential. Next up, I always carry a hatchet, small little hatchet. Very dangerous tool to use, but if you know how to use it and you respect that tool, it will get you by in any scenario. Make sure, obviously, the sharper the better. Dull tool is a very dangerous tool. It becomes very dangerous once it's dull, so maintain your tools. I have a Bushcraft. I had just actually purchased this hatchet. It is a very nice hatchet. Cuts very nice, feels nice, it's light, the handle's sturdy, pin on the top is sturdy. Always have a hatchet. Mine, I have a sheath guard for it, and I also have a belt loop, so this actually stays on my side the entire time I'm out here. It stays here. Last mandatory thing I always bring into the bush with me if I'm going out is a knife. So I have a bush knife here. I always keep it on my side as well. It is also a Bushcraft, and I bought it literally just after this hatchet. Pretty sure that was one of the cameras. The camera might be dead. That's okay. We're going to roll with this camera anyways. I actually purchased this because I fell in love with their hatchet very much. And again, I'm not sponsored enough. We're a small channel. We're just starting out here. But I love the hatchet so much. I wanted a new bush knife. I went with the Bushcraft bush knife. And I will say, again, very quality build. You want quality tools when you're outside. You don't want to be dealing with a little pocket knife or something when you're out here. You need something that's going to get you by. If you had to cut wood, split wood, anything, I trust quality over cheapness. You don't want to cheap out. But this is essentially everything I bring out is this. If I had to go out in the bush, you want to make sure you have those essentials with you. Something to eat, something to collect water or tinder or store your stuff in to keep dry, something to start a fire, something to stay warm with, a little tarp, anything. That's the kind of stuff you want outside. And that's all stuff that would fit in a very, very small pack. Even if you're out hiking, keep it on your person. That's essentially what could save your life in a survival situation or hiking situation gone wrong. So that's what I bring out. Again, I always pack a parka. It's warm enough outside today that I don't need it, but I always pack it. I crunch it up, roll it onto my backpack, strap it on. Whatever you gotta do, always bring a jacket, just in case. If you're planning a day out in the bush, be over-prepared rather than under. Dress in layers.
That's a great.
Yeah, layers. You want to be over-prepared, right? Yeah, it might be warm when you step outside your house, but when you get in the bush, and you're out here for a couple hours, you could cool down. So, always dress in layers, always warm up. I got a thermal layer underneath these pants. I always got a thermal layer underneath my sweater. You can strip a layer, but when you're out here, you can't just make another layer appear if you don't have it with you. So yeah, that's essentially the breakdown of everything. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it gives you guys some tips if you don't already have that. If you've got an outdoor pack and there's something extra that you're missing here, I recommend it personally, having it in your kit. It doesn't take up much room. Pretty light. Everything here is pretty light, and you can do a lot with everything here.
So Calvin went over all his stuff, what he likes to bring, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic stuff. This is why he's my bush buddy. A couple of things that I like to bring myself. The first thing I'd actually like to mention is my notepad. It's a waterproof notepad, so if it's raining, I can write down some stuff. just the first page is I went when I first started going out into the bush with Calvin. He introduced me to a new style of bush. I said, okay, that sounds fantastic. And I went out to Google Maps and just roughly drew out where the river was, where the highway was, where his road was, where his house was, put where north was, and all that kind of stuff. So,
which was very smart.
yeah, so I got kind of that all written out, and that just kind of gave me the reassurance that, let's just say, for whatever reason, things did go wrong, I could always look back to that. Along with that, obviously, a compass. You can't go wrong with the compass, right? You got the mirror, and you know where you're going all the time. Your phone can always die if you're dependent on that. Attached to it is a whistle. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Just being able to scream help.
I gotta add in one little point too. You said the whole preparation thing with the map and everything. Again, that was very unfamiliar bush for Josh.
Yeah.
I knew it, but what happens if I hurt myself on that trip? I wouldn't be there to guide Josh out and be like, hey man, go get help, this is where you're going.
Yep.
I'd have to give him verbal instructions. So having a notepad and being prepared when you go out, that is 100%. That was totally him. I didn't think of it. I knew the bush, but I didn't think of him not knowing the bush. Something happened to me, we'd be in a world of hurt probably.
I'd be lost. Yeah, and just like slapping an unconscious body, like, where do I go? So those are the two things that I feel proud to say that's the first thing on my list. The next thing is my paracord. Always have this kind of stuff with me. I'm an arborist, so I love ropes and knots and all that kind of fancy stuff. Along with it, I bring black tape. And so whenever you want to cut a piece of paracord, what you do first is you get your paracord, you wrap it with black tape, and then you cut it right in the middle of the black tape. Once you do that, you burn the ends, and then that way it doesn't coil apart and have that fluff. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever, and then eventually it'll compromise the strength of the paracord if it gets too far. So those are two things that I always carry with me. Just the other week, I put up a laundry cord. Like, why not? So that was one of the things. Another thing I bring out is a power bank. That's just for my own personal use for GoProing and my phone too. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm dependent using an app that would tell me where I am, and all of a sudden my phone dies. Oh shit! Okay, well I have a cord and I have a power bank, so I can just charge that. That's just something that's nice to know I have, or even call for help. Another thing is a headlamp. Absolutely need my headlamp. God knows how long we stay out here, and it gets pitch black. You have to head home. Flashlight's always a nice thing to have. Yeah, definitely just another reassurance kind of thing. Same thing as Calvin. I have my plastic Ziploc bag with my flint. I also have inside a piece of tissue paper. If, let's just say, it was so damp out that I can't even get birch bark to light, which I'll be proud to say I actually haven't come across that point yet, but I do have it just in case. And especially if it's like a dire situation where it's super cold and I need a fire right now. Along with that, I have these little, kind of like, it's like a pill-packed cotton with something in it. I don't know. But I've tried these out, and like you put a spark on it, and it lights up almost immediately like a candle. So that's just one of those things that's nice to know you have. I've only used one, right? Another thing I have for our food and kind of stuff like that is just a basic, spoon and fork and knife, corkscrew kind of stuff. That's something that, again, it's just nice to know that you have it just for comfort. I also have my tools. Obviously, I documented that I cheated with my chainsaw, but before that, I do have my Grants 4 Brooks axe, which is Germany made. Love this stuff. My dad was always adamant, get Grants 4 Brooks, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. This is a small forest axe. Love this thing. I chopped down trees with this thing. I split kindling and all that kind of stuff, and I try my best to make sure that's always nice and sharp. Along with that, I have my Silky Big Boy. And that's another thing I'll say is if you're going to be dedicating yourself for a nice saw in the bush, silky, it doesn't matter what. They are all fantastic. Like I said, I'm an arborist. We use the silky Zubats, which is a very quick sheath, pull out, put back in kind of saw, but this is something that you like in the bush. Wish I had a katana blade.
And I will note, there is orange flag tape on that handle of his saw.
Yes, good point.
Literally.
Yes. Yeah, it's brown for crying out loud. So I've lost tools before. My dad has lost tools before, and he said, just put some flagging tape on, you won't lose it. Should have it on my axe too. I have a nice little knife that I got. I forget the name of it. It's Canadian made though. You can Canada right on the blade. It's Roman D.H. Russell. Canadian made, also military issued knives, not this size, much smaller, but that sold me right on. Canada. And for the military, like, come on. Along with all that kind of stuff, that's essentially the things that I like to bring out. I also have right on my strap, my backpack strap, a knife that I never pull out. It's literally if I'm walking back and a coyote decides to go all rancid on me or something like that, I can pull it out. You know, it's just another reinsurance thing. So essentially, I pack for proficiency and comfort, and that's my entire pack. So hope you guys kind of enjoyed that. Very obviously, if you're a bushcrafter going person, birch bark is absolutely the necessity to start a fire. This is a yellow birch. In my past experience, I have noticed that it does retain a lot more moisture than white birch. However, it does still ignite quite well because it has the same quite properties. One thing to mention is that whenever you're harvesting from a birch tree, you don't, like, this is very much alive. You don't want to just start, tearing bark off like crazy. That will damage and potentially kill the tree.
Unless you're in a survival situation.
If you're in a survival situation, go for it. Just do it. Burn the whole tree. So one thing you can do is just little strips. Okay, I have enough, and you can move on, go to another tree. Or if you have a pair of scissors in your survivor pack, you can get what's fluffy and hanging off, because obviously it's not doing any good to the tree. Cut it right there, and you have a good source of self-consciousness towards environmental stuff. Especially if you're not in a survival situation, you want to keep this stuff so you can still enjoy preserving wildlife, whatnot. There's another thing, we'll go off, let's say you grabbed your birch bark stuff, and you're looking for, so we have it looks like spruce? The needles are so high. The reason that the needles are so high is that conifer trees are known as self-pruners, which basically means they'll purposely kill off the bottom branches to preserve the most energy to go to the top so that they can bust through the canopy and make sure they get sunlight. If you look at a forest, it's actually technically like a war if you were to really check it out. So they'll purposely, kill off these bottom branches and preserve it all for the top. So this tree is very much alive, but these limbs are very much dead. Like, you can hear the noise, that is absolutely ready for burning. And you just tink and tink and tink and tink, and there's your small stuff, along with your well-preserved birch bark that you've been collecting throughout your travels or where you are, survival or not, and you're ready to go. About 6 o'clock, and we're cooking up our soup. Figured it's a nice time to do this. The fire's going great. I don't know how much longer we're going to be hanging out.
Probably not much longer.
Yeah.
I know we do have our own personal lives we have to tend to tomorrow. But
Wives.
Wives. Lives and wives that we have to tend to tomorrow.
Oh, it was your flashlight. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably need a flashlight.
It's a little dark now, as you can kind of see.
No, I'll get ready here. I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Get some booster burners off of it.
Yeah, I don't see much steam coming off of the soup can, so that would be kind of nice to have.
Okay.
Can't be out much longer. Look at this stuff. This is all bad on here. Getting mixed up in the bush. Oh my goodness. And increase the there's an increase in light. Alright. So this stuff, all of this stuff here would be so good to just friggin' oh my god! Oh. Woo!
Cal? Cal, you okay? Oh my god.
Wow. Whew. That was close. Wow.
Are you okay? Holy Are you alright? Oh no.
That little one right there.
Oh yeah, that'll do her.
Whew, that would have been bad.
Holy What happened?
Literally just came walking. I was focused on here. I'm like, look at that. That'd be the perfect booster burners right there, right?
Yeah, that'll do her.
Caught it right on that.
Yeah,
Down I went.
It is. I'd say it's about minus 13 degrees Celsius, maybe minus 15. It's cold. But, got our booster burners back. Thankfully I didn't hurt myself. I know that leg came pretty close to it. Almost went through.
That was so scary.
That was pretty close.
You could have really hurt yourself.
100%.
Ay.
But there you go. That's one prime example when you're in a scenario where you're trying to film and you're trying to focus on anything else other than where your foot's going, you can really hurt yourself. And thankfully I wasn't hurt there. More lighter sense of things. We do have our soup cooking here over the fire with the booster burners going now.
And we got some steam coming out of them now too.
Yeah. All the viewers at home, cheers. Here's the dinner. Oh my goodness. It's very hot, but it's good.
I was gonna say, you probably burned your whole
That's got a kick to it.
your whole